the Mercury Theater on the air in The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. Ladies and gentlemen, the director of the Mercury Theater and star of these broadcasts, Orson Welles.
We know now that in the early years of the 20th century, this world was being watched closely by intelligences greater than man, yet as mortal as his own. We know now that as human beings busied themselves about their various concerns, they were scrutinized and studied, perhaps almost as narrowly as a man with a microscope might scrutinize the transient creatures that swarm and multiply in a drop of water. With infinite complacence, people went to and fro over the earth about their little affairs. Spinning fragment of solar driftwood, which by chance or design man has inherited out of the dark mystery of time and space. Yet across an immense ethereal gulf, minds that are to our minds, ours are to the beasts in the jungle, intellects vast, cool, and unsympathetic, regarded this earth with envious eyes, slowly and surely drew their plans against us. In the 39th year of the 20th century came the Great Disillusionment. Near the end of October, business was better. The war scare was over. More men were back at work. Sales were picking up. This particular evening, October 30th, the Crosley service estimated that 32 million people were listening in on radio.
Change in temperature. A slight atmospheric disturbance of undetermined origin is reported over Nova Scotia, causing a low-pressure area to move down rather rapidly. Forecast of rain accompanied by winds of light gale force. Maximum temperature 66, minimum 48. This weather report comes to you from the government.
Hotel in New York City, we bring you the music of Raymond Raquello and his orchestra. The touch of the Spanish, Raymond Raquello leads off with La Compañía.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program of dance music to bring you a special Continental Radio News. At 20 minutes before 8 Central Time, Professor Farrell of the Mount Jennings Observatory, Chicago, Illinois, reports observing several explosions of incandescent gas occurring at regular intervals on the planet Mars. Second Pearson of the Observatory in Princeton confirms Farrell's observation. Now returning to the music of Raymond Raquello, playing for you in the Meridian Room of the Park Plaza Hotel, situated in downtown New York.
Now a tune that never loses bass. The ever-popular Stardust. Raymond Raquello and Stardust. The ever-popular Stardust.
requested the large observatories of the country to keep an astronomical watch on any disturbances occurring on the planet Mars. Due to the unusual nature of this occurrence, we have arranged an interview with a notable astronomer, Professor Pearson, who will give us his views on this event. In a few moments, we will take you to the Princeton Observatory in Princeton, New Jersey. To return you until then, the music of Ramon Raquello and his orchestra. Now to Princeton, New Jersey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Carl Phillips speaking to you from the observatory at Princeton. Standing in a large sunset, pitch black separate outbones of little hours. Through this opening, I can see a sprinkling of stars that cast a kind of frosty glow over the intricate mechanism of the huge telescope. Ticking sound you hear, vibration of quantum. Professor Pearson stands directly above me on a small platform, peering through the giant lens. I ask you to be patient, ladies and gentlemen. Any delay that may arise during our interview. Besides the ceaseless watch of the heavens, Professor Pearson, other communication. During this period, he is in constant touch with the astronomical centers of the world. Professor, may I begin our questions?
Any time, Mr.
Our radio audience, exactly what you see. Planet Mars through your telescope.
Nothing unusual at the moment, Mr. Phillips. A red disk swimming in a blue sea. Transverse stripes across the disk. I should think now because Mars happens to be at the point nearest the Earth in opposition.
What do these transverse stripes signify?
Not canals, I can assure you, Mr. Phillips. Although that's a popular conjecture, those are mentioned.
You're quite convinced, as a scientist, that living intelligence as we know it does not exist on Mars?
Say the chances against it are 1,000 to 1.
And yet, how do you account for these gas eruptions occurring on the surface of the planet at regular intervals?
Phillips, I cannot account for it.
By the way, Professor, for the benefit of our listeners, how far is Mars from the Earth? When someone has just handed Professor Pearson a message, while he reads it, let me remind you that we are speaking to you from the observatory in Princeton, New Jersey, where we are interviewing the world-famous astronomer, Professor Pearson. One moment, please. Professor Pearson has passed me a message which he has just received. Professor, may I read the message to the listening audience? Ladies and gentlemen, I should read you a wire addressed to Professor Pearson, Dr. Gray, of the Natural History Museum, New York. 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Seismograph registered shock of almost earthquake intensity occurring within a radius of 20 miles. Chief of Astronomical Division. Unquote. Professor Pearson, would this occurrence possibly have something to do with the
A meteorite of unusual size. Its arrival at this particular time is merely a coincidence. However, we shall conduct a search as soon as daylight.
Bringing you a special interview with Professor Pearson, noted astronomer. This is Carl Phillips speaking. We are returning you now to our New York studio.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the latest bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News. Toronto, Canada. Professor Morse of Macmillan University reports observing the cause of 3 explosions on the planet Mars between the hours of 7:45 p.m. and 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This confirms earlier reports received from American observatories. Now, nearer home, comes a special bulletin from Trenton, New Jersey. It is reported that at 8:50 p.m. a huge flaming object, a meteorite, fell on a farm in the neighborhood of Groverville, New Jersey, 22 miles from Trenton. The flash in the sky was visible within a radius of several hundred miles. As soon as he can reach there for Princeton. In the meantime, we take you to the Hotel Modulate in Brooklyn, where Bobby Millett and his orchestra are offering a program of dance music.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Carl Phillips again, out at the Wilmot Farm, Groversville, New Jersey. Professor Piercer and myself made the 11 miles of Princeton in 10 minutes. Well, I hardly know where to begin. Thankfully, your word picture was strange things in my eyes, but nothing out of modern Arabian Nights. Well, I just got here. I haven't had a chance to look around yet. I guess that's it. Yes, I guess that's the thing directly in front of me. Half buried in a vast pit. Must have struck with terrific force. The ground is covered with splinters of the tree. It must have struck on its way down. But I can see the object itself doesn't look very much like a meteor. At least not the meteors I've seen. It looks more like a huge cylinder. That's the diameter of what would you say, Professor Pearson? What's that? What would you say? What's the diameter of
About 30 yards.
About 30 yards. That's on the sheet is, well, I've never...
Well, that's along the street. Well, that's along the street. Along the street. Along the street.
Would you mind standing one side, please? While we're pushing the crowd back. Here's Mr. Wilmot, owner of the farm. He may have some interesting facts to add. Mr. Wilmot, will you please tell the radio audience as much as you remember of this rather unusual visitor that stopped in the backyard? Step closer, please. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Wilmot.
Professor fellow was talking about Mars. Well, I was half
Yes, Mr. Wilmot, and then what happened?
Well, as I was saying, I was listening to the radio, kind of halfway.
Yes, Mr. Wilmot, and then you saw something.
Not first off. I heard something.
And what did you hear?
A hissing sound like this.
Hissing sound like one. Hissing sound like one. Hissing sound like one. Hissing sound like one.
Screams and then dingo. Something smacked the ground. Knocked me clear out of my chair.
Well, were you frightened, Mr. Wilmot?
Well, I ain't quite sure. Reckon I was kind of riled.
Well, thank you, Mr. Wilmot. Thank you very much. No, that's quite all right. That's plenty. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just heard Mr. Wilmot, owner of the farm.
You've just heard Mr. Wilmot, owner of the
Spare the background of this. The park in the field is back with the police that's trying to rope off the roadway, leading into the farm, but explosives. They're breaking right through. Car's headlights throw an enormous spotlight on the pit where the objects have buried. Now, some of the more daring souls now are venturing near the edge. The silhouettes stand out against the metal shield. One man wants to touch the thing. He's having an argument with the policeman. Now, the policeman wins. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's something I haven't mentioned in all this excitement, but it's becoming more distinct. Perhaps you've caught it already on your radio. Listen, please. Do you hear it? Coming down on the inside now. I'll move the microphone nearer. No, we're not more than...
No, we're not. No, we're no.
The thing,
Possibly the unequal cooling of its surface.
I say, do you still think it's a meteor, Professor?
What do you think? Usually tears holes in a meteorite. This thing is smooth. You can see its
Just
cylindrical
a minute.
shape.
Nothing's happening. Ladies and gentlemen, this is terrific. This end of the thing is beginning to flake off. The top is beginning to rotate like a screw, and the thing must be hollow. Move it! Keep those men back! his face. I feel something wriggling out of the shadow like a great snake. Now it's another one. They look like tentacles to me. I can see the thing's body now. It's large. Large as a bear. It's like wet leather, but it's face. Ladies and gentlemen, it's indescribable. I can hardly support it. Eyes are black. Seem like a serpent. The mouth is that's kind of V-shaped. It's alive. It's dripping from its quivering lips. It's made of quiver, pulsate. Monster, or whatever it is, can hardly move. It seems weighed down by possibly gravity or something. The thing is rising up now.
Rising up now. Rising up now.
Well, this microphone with me as I talk. I'll have to stop the description till I can take a new position. Hold on, will you please? I'll be right back.
We are bringing you an eyewitness account of what's happening on the Wilmoth Farm, Grover's Mill, New Jersey.
On the Wilmoth Farm, Grover's Farm.
We now return you to Carl Phillips at Grover's Mill.
From here, I get a sweep of the whole scene. I'll give you every detail as long as I can talk and as long as I can see. More state police have arrived and they're drawing up a cordon in front of the pit. About 30 of them. No need to push the crowd back now. They're willing to keep their distance. The captain was conferring with someone. Can't quite see who. I asked. I believe it's Professor Pearson. Yes, it is. Now they've parted. The professor moves around one side, studying the object while the captain and two policemen advance with something in their hands. I can see it now. It's a white handkerchief tied to a pole. Flag of truce. Those creatures know what that means, what anything means. Wait a minute, something's happening. Some shape is rising out of the pit. A small beam of light against a mirror. What's that? The flame springing from the mirror and it leaps right at the advancing men. It strikes them head on. Lord, they're turning into flames. The gas tanks, the automobiles, spreading everywhere. Coming this way now.
Spreading everywhere. Coming this way now. Spreading everywhere. Coming this way now.
However, we will return to that point at the earliest opportunity. In the meantime, we have a late bulletin from San Diego, California. Professor Indelkopper, speaking at a dinner of the California Astronomical Society, expressed the opinion that the explosions on the Earth are undoubtedly nothing more than severe volcanic disturbances on the surface of the planet. We continue now with our piano interview.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been handed a message that came in from Grover's Mill by...
Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been handed a message.
In a field east of the village of Grover's Mill, their bodies burned and distorted beyond all possible recognition. The next voice you hear will be that of Brigadier General Montgomery Smith, the commander of the state militia at Trenton, New Jersey.
I have been requested by the governor of New Jersey to place the counties of Mercer and Middlesex as far west as Princeton and east to Jamesburg under martial law.
Recover the bodies and extinguish the fire. The combined fire departments in Mercer County are fighting the flames which menace the entire countryside. Yet the unable to establish any contact with our local located at Grover's Mill, but we hope to be able to return you there at the earliest possible moment. In the meantime, we take you to... Just one moment, please.
Just one moment, please. Just one moment, just one moment, please. Just one moment, please. Just one moment.
Professor Pearson has been located at a farmhouse near Grover's Mill, where he has established an emergency observation post. As a scientist, he will give you his explanation of the calamity. The next voice you hear will be that of Professor Pearson, brought to you by direct wire. Professor Pearson.
Brought to you by direct wire.
The creatures in the rocket cylinder at Grover's Mill. I can give you no authoritative information either as to their nature, their origin, or their purposes here on Earth. Of their destructive instrument, I might venture some conjectural explanation. Heat ray. All too evident that these creatures have scientific knowledge far in advance of our It's my guess that in some way they are able to generate an intense heat conductivity. This intense heat they project in a parallel beam against any object they choose. Parabolic mirror of no contradiction. That is my conjecture of the origin of the heat ray.
Thank you, Professor Pearson. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a bulletin from Trenton. It is a brief statement informing us that the charred body of Crown Phillips has been identified in the Trenton Hospital. Now here's another bulletin from Washington, D.C. The Office of the Director of the National Red Cross reports 10 units of Red Cross emergency workers have been from the state militia stationed outside of Grover's Mill, New Jersey. Here's a bulletin from State Police, Princeton Junction. The fires at Grover's Mill and vicinity are now under control. Scouts report all fires in the pit, and there is no
Physical object lies in a pit directly below our position, surrounded on all sides by 8 battalions of infantry, without heavy field pieces, but adequately armed with rifles and machine guns. All cause for alarm, if such cause ever existed, is now entirely unjustified. Things, whatever they are, do not even venture to poke their heads above the pit. Their hiding place plainly is there with searchlights here. All their reported features can scarcely stand up against heavy machine gun fire. Anyway, it's an interesting outing for the troops. I can make out their khaki uniforms, crossing back and forth in front of the lights.
I can make forth in front of the lights.
You ought to see some action soon. One of the companies is deploying on the left flank. Nothing but a shadow. Now that we're on the edge of the Willow Farm, 7,000 armed men closing in on an old metal tube. Well, wait, that wasn't a shadow, it's something moving. Solid metal, kind of a shield-like affair rising up out of the cylinder. Going higher and higher. But it's standing on legs, actually rearing up on a sort of metal framework. Now it's reaching above the trees in the sunlight. Grave announcement. Incredible as it may seem, both the observations of science and the evidence of our eyes lead to the inescapable assumption that those strange beings who landed in the Jersey farmland tonight are the vanguard of an invading army from the planet Mars. The battle which took place tonight at Grover Mills represented one of the most startling defeats ever suffered by an army of our 7,000 men armed with rifles and machine guns pitted against a single
fighting the rest came over the battle area from the freshly trampled to death under the metal feet of the monster. Burned to cinders by its heat ray. The monster is now in control of the middle section of New Jersey. It's effectively cut the state to its center. Communication lines are down from Pennsylvania to Connecticut. Railroad tracks are torn and service from New York to Philadelphia discontinued except only some of the trains from Allenton and Phoenixville. Highways to the north, south, and west are clogged with traffic. It's a mad flight. By morning, the fugitives will have swelled Philadelphia, Camden, and Trenton. It is estimated to twice their normal population. Pennsylvania. This time we take you to Washington for a special broadcast on the national emergency. The Secretary of the Interior.
Citizens of the nation. All the concern of your government in protecting the lives and property of its citizens. However, I wish to impress upon you, private citizens and public officials, all of you, the urgent need of calm and resourceful action.
Resourceful action.
Comparatively small area, and we may place our faith in the military forces to keep us there. Meantime, placing our faith in God, we constantly of our duties, each and every one of us, so that we may confront this destructive adversary with a nation united, courageous, and consecrated to the preservation of human supremacy on this earth.
Preservation.
Secretary of the Interior speaking from Washington. Bulletins of rumors we read are piling up in the studio here. We're informed that the central portion of New Jersey is spiked out for radio communications upon power lines and electrical equipment. Cables have been received from English, French, and German scientific bodies offering assistance. Astronomers report continued gas outbursts at regular intervals on the planet Mars. The majority voiced the opinion that the enemy will be reinforced by additional rocket machines. There have been several attempts made to locate Professor Pearson, for instance, observed Martians at close range. It's feared he was lost in a recent battle. Langham Field, Virginia. Scouting planes report 3 Martian machines visible above Chicago. They will overtake Somerville with population fleeing ahead of them. The heat ray is not in use, although advancing at expressive train speed. They pick their way carefully. They seem to be making a conscious effort to avoid destruction of cities and countryside. However, they stop to uproot power lines, bridges, and railroad tracks. Their apparent objective is to crush resistance, paralyze communication, and disorganize human society. Here is a bulletin from Basking Ridge, New Jersey. Coon hunters have stumbled on a second cylinder. 70 miles south of Morristown. Army people are proceeding to blow up the second invading unit before the cylinder can be opened. They're taking up a position in the foothills of Washington Mountain. Another bulletin from Langham Field, Virginia. Scouting planes report
from Langham Field, Virginia. Scouting planes report from Langham Field,
First, we take you to the battery of the 22nd Field Artillery, located in the Washington Mountains.
Range 32 meters. 39 degrees. 39 degrees. Fire. 40 yards to the right. Shift range 31 meters. 31 meters. Projection 37 degrees. Fire. Put on gas mask.
Ready
Ready to fire. 24 meters. 4 meters. Station 24 degrees. 24 degrees. Fire. Speed, sir. Get the range. 23 meters. What the hell? 3 meters.
Commanding 8 bombers, reporting to Commander Fairfax, Langham Field. This is Bolt reporting to Commander Fairfax, Langham Field. Enemy tripod machines now in sight. Reinforced by 3 machines from the Morristown cylinder. 6 altogether. 1 machine partially crippled. Believed hit by shell from Army gun and 1 unmounted. Guns now appear silent. A heavy black fog hanging close to the earth of extreme density. Future unknown. No sign of heat ray. Enemy now turns east, crossing Passaic River into the Jersey marshes. Another straddles the Pulaski Skyway. Evident objective is New York City. They're pushing down a high-tension power station. Machines are close together now, and we're ready to attack. Planes circling, ready to strike. 1,000 yards and we'll be over the first.
1,000 yards and we'll be over the first.
800 yards.
800 yards.
600. 400.
400.
200.
200.
There they go. Fire arm raised. Green flash. Spraying us with flame. 2,000 feet. Engines are giving out. No chance to release bombs. Only one thing left. Drop on them, plane and all. We're diving on the first one.
We're diving on the first one.
Bayonne, New Jersey, calling Langham Field. Bayonne, New Jersey, calling Langham Field. Come in, please.
Langham Field. Go ahead.
8 Army bombers in engagement with enemy tripod machines over Jersey Flats. Engines incapacitated by heat ray. All crashed. 1 enemy machine destroyed. Enemy now discharging heavy black smoke in direction of
Newark, New Jersey. Newark, New Jersey. Warning. Poisonous black smoke pouring in from Jersey marshes. Southward. Gas masks. Urge population to move to open spaces. Automobiles use routes 7, 23, 24. Avoid congested areas. Smoke now spreading over Raymond Boulevard.
QX2L calling CQ, 2X2L calling CQ, 2X2L calling 8X3R from in place. 8X3R coming back at 2X2L. How's reception? Gateway. Where are you, 8X3R? What's the matter? Where are you?
I'm speaking from the roof of Broadcasting Building. I'm speaking from the roof of Broadcasting Building, New York City. The bells here are ringing to warn people to evacuate the city as Martians approach. Estimated in the last 2 hours, 3 million people have moved out along the road north. Hutchison River Parkway is still kept open for motor traffic. richest Long Island, hopelessly jammed. All communication with Jersey Shore closed 10 minutes ago. No more defenses. Our army is wiped out. Artillery, Air Force, everything wiped out. May be the last broadcast. We'll stay here to the end. Down the harbor, all manner of boats, overloaded with fleeing population pulling out from docks. Streets are all jammed. Noise and crowds like the enemy's now in sight above the Palisades. Five great machines. First one is crossing the river. I can see it from here, wading the Hudson like a man wading through a brook. A bulletin is handed me. Martian cylinders are one outside of Buffalo, one in Now the first machine reaches the shore. And walking, looking over the city. Steel Cowlish head is even with the skyscrapers. He waits for the others. They rise like a line of new towers on the city's west side. Now they're lifting their metal hands. This is the end now. The smoke comes out black. People in the streets see it now. Times Square. People are trying to run away from it, but it's no use. They're falling like flies. Now the smoke's crossing 6th Avenue. 5th Avenue. 100 yards away. 50 feet.
Calling, say kill. QX12 calling, say kill New York. Is there anyone on the air? Is there anyone on the air?
CBS presentation of Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the Air.
Mercury Theater presentation of Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the
Broadcasting System. The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells.
War of the Worlds. By H.G. Wells.
generative existence of the lonely derelict who pencils these words on the back of some astronomical notes bearing the signature of Richard Pearson. Look down at my blackened hand. Try to connect them with a professor who lives at Princeton and who on the night of October 20th glimpsed through his telescope an orange splash of light on a distant planet. Why? My colleagues, my students, books, observatory, my world. Where are they? Did they ever exist? Am I Richard Pearson? What day is it? 2 days exist without calendars. Does time pass when there are no human hands left to wind the clock? Writing down my daily life, I tell myself I shall preserve human history between the dark covers of this little book that was meant to record the movement of the stars. To write, I must live, and to live, I must eat. Find moldy bread in the kitchen, orange not too spoiled to swallow. Watch it. Time to time, I catch sight of it. Martian above the black smoke. Black coil, but hissing sound, and suddenly I see a Martian mounted on his machine, spraying the air with a jet of steam as if to dissipate the smoke. I watch in a corner as his huge metal legs nearly brush against the house. Morning. Sunscreen. Black cloud of gas is lifted and scorched northward through a black snowstorm. I adventure from the house and make my way to a road. Push on north. For some reason I feel safer trailing these monsters than running away from them. And I keep a careful watch. Seen the marshal. One of their machines appear over the tops of trees. I'm ready to bring myself flat on the earth. Chestnut. Chestnuts are right. Got my pockets. Keep them light. For 2 days I wander in a vague northerly direction through a desolate world. Finally I notice a living creature. A small red squirrel in a beech tree. I stare at him. He stares back at me. I believe at that moment the animal in the shed takes motion. Joy in finding another living being. Push on north. Find dead cows in the brackish fields beyond the charred ruins of dairy and silo. They stand guard over the wasteland like it. Astride the silo perches a weathercock, the arrow points north. Next day I come to a city. Sliced off its highest towers with a capricious sweep of the scan. Reached the outskirts and found Newark. Newark, undemolished but humbled by some whim of the advancing Martians. Presently, with an odd feeling of being watched, I caught sight of someone crouching in a doorway and stepped on it. I don't know. I guess I'm looking. People.
Did we hear something just then?
No. Only a bird. A live bird.
Get to know that birds have shadows these days. Hey, we're in the open here. Let's crawl in this doorway.
Have you seen any Martians?
Going over to New York. Night, the skies alive with the lights. Just as people in the still live. Daylight, you can't see them. 5 days ago, a couple of them carried something big across the flats from the airport. Fly.
That's all over with humanity. Stranger, it's still you and I. Who's left?
Wrecked the greatest country in the world. Those green stars, they're probably falling somewhere every night. They've only lost one machine. There isn't any machine. National Guard. That's good. There wasn't any more than there's war between men and animals.
Yes, but we're eatable ants. I found that out. The doodles.
I filled it all out. Right now, we're the Martian only has to go a few miles to get a crowd on the run. Keep on doing that, they'll begin catching the systematic one, keeping the best, storing us in cages. They haven't begun on us yet. Not begun. All that's happened so far is because we don't have sense enough to keep quiet. Bothering them with guns and such stuff and losing our heads and rushing off in crowds. Rushing around blind, we gotta fix ourselves up according to the way things are now. Cities, nations, civilization, progress. Dinners and restaurants. If it's amusement you're after, I guess you can tell.
What is there left?
Life, that's what. I want to live. Yes. We're not going to be exterminated. I don't mean to be caught either. Tamed, bred like an ox. I got a plan. We don't know enough. We got to learn plenty before we got a chance. We got to live.
We gotta learn plenty before we got a chance.
I thought it all out.
Tell me the rest.
Well, it isn't all of us that are meat for wild beasts. That's what it got to be. That's why I watched you. All those little office workers that used to live in the town, they be no good. They haven't any stuff in them. Unoffice workers, they're computers trainers. Worried about the hereafter.
Worried about the hereafter.
Yeah, after a week or so, chasing around the fields on empty stomachs, they'll come and be glad to.
Sort it all out.
Better. Pets it. Train them to do tricks. Who knows? Get sentimental over the pet boy who grew up and had to be killed. Someday they'll train to hunt us. Yes, they will. Never do it flat.
Meantime, you and I and others like me. Where are we to live? We're Martians on the Earth.
Under New York, they're miles. And there's vaults, underground storerooms, railway tunnels, subways. No weakness. That rubbish. Out.
And you and me. Won't quarrel about that.
It
all the books we science. That's where men like you come in. We raid the museums.
Where men like you come in, see?
We'll even spy on the Martians.
Raid the museum where men like you come in.
May not be so much we have to learn before. Just imagine this. Or if power of their own fighting machines suddenly start off. Heat rays right and left. Not a Martian in them. Not a Martian in them, see? Not a Martian. But men. But men. How? We turn it on Martians. We turn it on men.
We turn it on Martians. We turn it on men.
We own the world.
I see. Not to your world. Bye, stranger. Well, after parting with the artilleryman, I came at last to Hollow, entered that silent duel. Anxious to know the fate of the great city on the other side of the Hudson. Cautiously, I came out of the tunnel and made my way up Canal Street. Reached 14th Street and there again. Black powder and several bodies and an evil, ominous smell from the gratings of the cellars of some of the houses I wandered up through the 30s and 40s. Stood alone on Times Square. Caught sight of a lean dog running down 7th Avenue. Dark brown meat corridor. Pack of starving monkeys. Made a wide circle around us, though we feared a fresh competitor. Walked up Broadway in the direction of that strange powder, their silent shop windows, displaying their mute wares to empty sidewalks. Past the Capitol Theater, silent, dark. Past the shooting gallery where a row of empty guns faces the rest of the line of wooden trucks near Columbus Circle. I noticed model 1939 motor cars in the showrooms facing empty streets. Over the top of the General Motors building, I watched a flock of black birds circling in the sky. Hurried on. Suddenly, I caught sight of the hood of a Martian machine, standing somewhere in Central Park, gleaming in the late afternoon sun. Same idea. I rushed recklessly across Columbus Circle and into the park. I climbed a small hill above the pond at 60th Street. From there, I could see standing in a silent row along the mall 19 of those great metal rifles, their cowls empty, their steel arms hanging listlessly by their sides. I looked in vain for the monsters that inhabit those machines. Suddenly, my eyes were attracted to the immense flock of black birds that hovered directly below me. They circled on the ground. There before my eyes, stark and silent, lay the Martians with the hungry birds pecking and tearing brown shreds of flesh. Later, when their bodies were examined in laboratories, it was found that they were killed by the putrefactive and diseased bacteria against which their systems were unprepared. Blame, after all, man's defenses had failed. The humblest thing that God, his wisdom, has put upon this earth. Before the cylinder fell, there was general persuasion. No life existed beyond the petty surface of our minute sphere. Now we see further. Dim and wonderful is the vision I've conjured up in my mind of life spreading slowly from this little seedbed of the solar system throughout the inanimate vastnesses of sidereal space. Remote dream. Maybe that the destruction of the Martians is only a reprieve to them and not to us. Future ordained, perhaps. Stranger now seems to sit in my peaceful study in Princeton, writing down this last chapter of the record, begun at the deserted farm at Grover's Mill. Strange to watch children playing in the streets. Strange to see young people strolling on the green where the new spring grass heals the last black scars. Strange to watch the sightseers Enter the museum where the disassembled parts of the Martian machine are kept for public use. Strange when I recall the time when I first saw it. Right. Clean cut. Hard.
Right.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1. Horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of dimensions in time, adventures which will minimum in millions of years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X minus 1. Tonight's story, The Cave of Night by James E. Gunn.
Okay. Oh, yet of Hamlet, our dear brother, death the memory of neighbor. Anyway, how's it, okay? Okay. Check recording. I may go over a half hour. Make sure they've got another reel of tape ready. Okay? All right. Look, Bill, I've just put the segments of tape together for the next week's show. I'm going to record my narrations, and we'll listen to it together tomorrow. I know this is unusual, but you're the producer, and I don't want you out on a limb that may be sawed off behind us. This week's show is liable to either win us every award from the Peabody to the Pulitzer Prize, or maybe put the network out of business. Okay, we start with the standard opening. Behind the World, etc. 40 seconds. We start with the standard opening. Behind the World. This is Harry Anders, your editor. At 8 o'clock, after the sun is set and the sky is darkening, look up. Look up. There's a man up there where no man has ever been. He is lost in the cave of night. In the cave of night.
The fuel tank's empty. Receiver broken. Transmitting in clear. Anyone picking this up? Anyone? This is Rev McMillan calling. Notify Gotti Brock, New Mexico. Way to get back.
There's a man up there where no man has ever been. There's a man up there where no man has ever been. That phrase now, the cave of night. It was written by a poet disguised in the cynical hide of a newspaper rewrite man. But it stuck. It caught the world and held it like a butterfly pinned to a board. It started with a ham, an amateur radio operator, in Davenport, Iowa. All right, Eddie. First tape. It's marked.
I was up in the attic. I usually have a talk with WG-73s in Buenos Aires. We play chess. Well, there was some kind of interference. And then all of a sudden I heard this voice. I record most of my listening anyway, so I had the tape machine running. after I heard it, I called civil defense. That's what you're supposed to.
Look, Bill, I haven't done the final editing on these tapes, so don't worry, they're a little rough. Down out of the night, flung from the darkness, came these words, the first of so many that electrified the world.
Notify Goddard Rock, New Mexico. No way to get back. No way to get back. I'm stuck up here. No way to get down.
What does it take to catch the pity? A man wedged underground in Kentucky. A little girl in the bottom of a well. Somebody alive, waiting for rescue. The days of his life numbered. Somebody somewhere waiting for us to get him out. The story broke in this morning's paper. Orbiting 1,000 miles above our heads was a man, an officer of the United States Air Force in a fuelless spaceship. We're recording at the desk of Mike Bayless, senior night editor of the Continental Press National Wire.
Hey, you always get a reaction like this. I remember the Floyd Collins story in the 20s. Hanging on to see if he could get out. Then there was that little girl stuck in the well. Kathy Fiskus?
Yeah.
We pulled all those stories out and wired for background. But this hit bigger. We got the first lead from the Air Force handout in New Mexico. They just sent an experimental rocket to base. By that time, the cat was out of the bag. Came up and picked up those messages from Boston to Fort Lauderdale.
You first used the phrase, the cave of night, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you know, you gotta get a little purple on something like this. People eat it up. You can't spread it on too thick. Anyway, I was lost in the cave once when I was a kid in upstate New York. I waited around for a couple of hours in the dark. Kind of reminded me of that.
Terrors and night, struggling awake from nightmares, fears of It reminded me of Rev McMillan. Perhaps I have an advantage over all the other reporters for newspapers and radio and television because I knew Rev McMillan. I knew him in college and in the Air Force. I knew that he was testing rocket-powered craft at Goddard, but I didn't know they were so close to space. No space. No Straight black hair, dark cable ears, a reckless grin. He ate well, reveled in expert jazz and Mozart opera, and he talked incessantly. His southern speech was no drawl. There was too much to say. And now he was alone. Soon, all that might be extinguished. The men from the radio newsrooms rushed to Goddard Rocket Base on miniature tape recorders.
Gentlemen, I'm Colonel Arthur J. Hannigan, Information Officer for Goddard Rocket Base. I'm authorized to issue the following statement. First Lieutenant Reverdy L. McMillan, United States Air Force pilot, Experimental Rocket Division, took off from Goddard Base at 22:34 Rocky Mountain time. Scratch XR-37 Mark II, hydrazine nitrate three-stage rocket. Sorry, I don't describe it for as classified. Well, in order to maintain orbit, the motor will pulse for 1 second every 15 seconds elapsed time. After 3 minutes, the exhaust was seen by ground spectroscope observations to flare for half a minute. As fuel supply is exhausted, the craft has reached sustaining orbital speed.
What does that mean?
He's out of gas. He can't go down.
The first mobilization was of the scientific brains massed at Goddard. A few of them knew that. Brains at a research project are usually carefully sorted out and sorted away from the distractions of the outside world. They designed, they invented, they calibrated and theorized. But they didn't know the short, stocky man with a long
They didn't know the calibrated
I covered the hearings in Washington for the Once I thought I saw a tear. The hearing was before the subcommittee of the Senate. Presiding, Senator Alan J. Haggister, Dr. J. Haggister.
If that ship wasn't safe, if that poor man up there in the cave tonight is to die, somebody is responsible. Isn't that right, gentlemen?
Sir, the manned rocket was sent up because of one simple fact. It takes a computer of tremendous versatility and capacity to operate a Harrison Lunch reactor engine. A computer of infinite complexity.
And I ask you, General, I put a question to you. Why I ask you, General, I put a question to you.
It has been designed.
It
was designed 500,000 years ago. There is only one mechanism competent to handle those controls, sir. That is the human brain.
All right, I turn now to my second question, General, and I ask it not only for myself and my 170 million Americans. With that man up there living out his last days, why was it not possible to send a ship up after? Why was there no second ship built?
One reason, Senator, money. The appropriation for rocket research fell short by 12% of the amount needed even to build one vessel. Frankly, General, deficiency was made up by cutting corners and diverting funds from other projects.
There's a man up there who's going to die.
With the limited funds you gave us, we've done what we set out to do. We've demonstrated that space flight is possible.
Space flight is possible.
If there is any blame for what has happened, it lies at the door of those who lack the confidence and the courage and ability of their countrymen to fight free of Earth to their greatest glory. Senator, how did you vote on it?
Prominently displayed in the center aisle, above the ornate railing separating the pews from the altar, is the small model of Macmillan's ship. One by one now, the congregation is filing past in checks. So one child drop in 12 pennies one by one. All contributions are to be used to defray the cost of the rescue effort. The congregation is now kneeling to pray. Moment of silent prayer for the safety and rescue of Lieutenant Macmillan. $1 billion was raised in 1 week from voluntary contributions. The race began. Would the rescue party reach the ship in time? Of course, we didn't know then. Daily we listened to the voice of the man we hoped to buy back from heaven. Now, look, Bill, on these Macmillan broadcast tapes, don't let some ignorant engineering vice president holler because it's not broadcast quality. Believe me, I knew Macmillan. more of that wild Texan in these tapes than in any hi-fi super-frequency response studio recordings. Just listen, you'll see what I mean.
I've been staring out the portholes. I never tire of it.
I've been staring out the portholes. I never tire of it.
Holes in the curtains and the light shines through, not winking the way stars do. Steady. There's no air on it. That's the reason. My oxygen is holding out better than I expected. By my figures, it should last 27 days more. I shouldn't use so much of it talking all the time, but it's hard to stop. Talking, I feel like I'm still in touch with the earth. Still one of you. Though I am way up here. Where the receiver is broken. It had to be one or the other. I'm glad it was the transmitter that came through all right. There's only one of me. There are billions of you. You can't see me now. You'll have to wait hours for the dawn.
That's the way he talked. And as we listened to the lonely voice from the night, the engineers, the scientists, the construction men worked around the clock. General Finch presented the problem in the pool interview. I asked questions for the combined networks that afternoon. Most of you heard the complete broadcast live as he briefed the world with the clipped, laconic delivery of a soldier.
There are two basic problems. We've only to construct the third stage. The second problem is more difficult. The pilot. Lieutenant McMillan was the only man physically and psychologically qualified. We discovered that in our first program. His training and orientation took 18 months. We have now to duplicate this in 27 days.
You think it's possible, General?
I don't know. That's all, Mr. Andrews. Stevenson, get me some coffee, will you? Black and some kind of sandwich, no butter, no mayonnaise.
And then the voice from the cave asked a question and expected no answer.
Do you hear me down there? I wish there was some way I could be sure you were hearing me. Just one thing might keep me from going
I was there in the helicopter over Kansas City.
This is Harry Anders speaking to you from a helicopter over Kansas City. There are 15 seconds to the night. The plan was developed by General Finch. At precisely midnight, the city will be out. The men flash over this 2-second interval. This will be the exact moment that Millen's ship is calculated to last.
I see it. I see it. Kansas City winking at me. I see it. Yes, I can see it. I see it. Kansas City winking. Thanks. You're listening. I know that. I'm not alone. I'll never forget. I'm waiting for you.
We're recording in the press gallery of the Goddard Rocket Base main construction hangar. The vast third stage component stands before us, men swarming up and down the gantry cranes. The Mark III is being built to carry 5 men instead of 1. The pilot selection has been kept top secret to avoid unnecessary strain on the unselected.
Top secret to avoid unnecessary strain on the
and United Auto Workers of the AFL-CIO. Their margin is 6 hours. 6 hours between life and death for Lieutenant Brevity L.
An hour ago, I saw the sun rise Why we're so different. The land is the same. You think we're all the same children, the same mother planet? Who says we're different?
Can you hear me in the back? How about this? That's better. All right, gentlemen, I have exactly 5 minutes for the press conference, therefore I'm not going to answer any questions. The progress report is as follows. As a safety factor, we're constructing 2 complete 3-stage rockets and 6 additional 3rd-stage components. The television reports from the Mullen ship have added important additional information. Now, don't ask a question. Within certain limitations of air turbulence, the rocket will be ready to lift in time to save Lieutenant McMillan.
21 days. The air's bad to me. Can't seem to get a full breath. Seems to stick in the lungs. Doesn't matter though. But I wish you could see what I've seen. Vast spreading universe around Earth like a bride in a soft bed. Come out, mankind. Come out and see what I've seen.
This is Harry Anders at Goddard Rocket Base. The Harrison Munch reactor engine of the first 3rd stage rescue is being tested here at Goddard. You can hear the roaring of the gases in the test chamber. The work has been stepped up as a new calculation based on the increased temperature range of the Mullen ship indicates that the exhaustion time will be some 6 hours earlier than originally estimated. The margin of rescue will be in minutes.
You're very bad. In a hurry. Can't last much longer. Of course you hurry here. But I don't want anyone feeling sorry for me. There where I've lived and loved. I have known it better than any man. And loved it better. And known its children better. Goodbye. I have been tomb. Do not disturb.
Countdown for blast off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Anders, tape 323. We're in the press operation room at Goddard Field. The rescue rocket has been about 53 minutes plus. Its calculated time of arrival is 54 minutes. You'll hear the voice of General Beauregard Finch on a direct pickup from the rescue vessel, which has been named unofficial lifesaver. Silent crowds have collected at the outer perimeter of the rocket base, as if by their presence they might help it. The next voice you hear will be General Finch aloft in the rescue ship. The voice quality may not be good. Speaking over a throat mic is precious.
Mark 3 to base, this is Finch. We have just secured to the airlock of McMillan's ship. And now entering the lock. The inner door is closed. I have closed the outer door. The inner door is cycling. Now it is open. Bulkhead to the control room is open.
Is he all right? What's happening?
Lieutenant McMillan is dead. He died heroically, waiting till all hope was gone.
Come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of a future. Adventures in which could be years on 1,000, maybe more. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, The Sea Chute, by Isaac Asimov.
We were on our way home to Earth when it happened. 6 of us, coming home as passengers aboard the merchant spaceship Starfire. At the start of the Second Interstellar War, one between Earth and the planet Coral. And then it happened. Spent his life back on Earth. Never seen a battle. It was Demetrius Poliorketis, who had just watched his brother being killed by a coral carbonite. Poli was a huge man. His brother had tried truck farming in Arcturus and given it up after 2 seasons. Then there was LeBlanc, a sensitive, frightened young man at 22. And Randolph Mullet, who looked like somebody's caricature of a bookkeeper. A mild, balding, milquetoast little man. And there was myself, John Stewart. I was the only one who'd ever had contact with the Chloro people. I had a pair of artoplasm hands to prove it. It's quiet now. Yeah, they finished. Mr. Stewart? Yes, Mr. Mullet. to abort and take us to one of their home planets as prisoners of war. Only two of the clothes will stay at home. Two is all they'll need. Why? Point of information, does it? Let me give you another point of information. If you want to commit suicide quick, just open that bulkhead door. 3 steps inside, you'd fall on your face. Did you smell anything, LeBlanc? Get close to the door. It smells like gas. There's chlorine. They've chlorinated the whole cruise compartment. One big whiff of that, we'd all be dead. Just forget about rushing the chloro.
How do you know so much about their habits, Stuart?
I lived on a chloro planet for 6 months. You see these hands? They were mangled in the oxygenating machinery in my own quarters. They grew these protoplasm things and operated. They're weak, but at least I understand some.
Monsieur Stuart.
Yeah.
Oui, they kill us.
Why do you say that? Because in their own way they're children. Probably will be loyalty is where it belongs. Honesty and decency. Regardless of the shape of the being that appears in. This is a ridiculous war. Why are we fighting these people? We can live only on planets with oxygen, and oxygen is poison to them. They can live only in chlorine atmosphere, which is different to us. Yet we're fighting them over a bunch of worthless asteroids that neither of us can live on comfortably.
It's a matter of principle.
It's a matter of fight free.
I don't like what you say, mister.
Why not?
Because you talk all nice, man. You're a scout. You're good, you, eh? And they was good to my brother. Take you.
about the height of an Earthman, but the top of him was just a green stalk with eyes. He was still wearing a spacesuit to protect him from the oxygen in our compartment. One of his tendrils carried out. As he stood in the doorway, I could see Polyarchetes' eyes begin to glisten with rage. Then, with a bellow like a huge bull, he threw himself at the floor.
He is undead. Merely temporarily paralyzed. You five remain together as prisoners of war. We expect to reach our own planet within several weeks. Your time is up. Then we intern for the duration of the war. If any of you attempts to leave this compartment, we shall be forced to destroy you. That is all I have to communicate.
Hadn't we better do something to Mr. Polyarchetes?
Oh, yes, sir. Hi, Polly. Can you hear me? Oh, I know what's going on in that thick skull of yours, Polly. You think that when the paralysis wears off, you'll ease your feelings by slamming me around some more.
Ease your feelings by slamming me around some more. Ease your feelings by slamming me around some more. Ease your feelings by slamming me around.
Unlike us, they assume automatically that any group of Earthmen they find together comprises a biological grouping, like an ant. The result is that they consider the group as something, well, something holy. Now, they'd never break us up. And if one of us did any harm to another, they'd have us all executed as a bunch of chloro-type perverts, a non-functioning group. So call all the names you want, but keep your hands to yourself, or It was like a frightened child. Mullen was a non-entity, a mouse instead of a man. Everything he did seemed the quality of furtively rustling underbrush.
How long did you say the trip would take?
It has occurred to me that perhaps you know of some weakness that might enable us to overcome these quarrels.
The only can't stand oxygen.
There must be some way to get the best of a man. After all, there are only two.
Before I answer, Colonel, I have to know your motive. Is it to save your own skin or help Earth win the war?
Oh, dash it, man, to help our side, of course. What we're looking for is a way to save the ship for Earth without losing our lives, yes?
All right, let's take a vote. Blank?
I have a wife waiting on me.
Hero number 1. What about you, Mullen?
I don't see how we can accomplish it.
Hero number 2. Well, Paul your Ketis.
Thank you, Doris. It will be with my bad hands.
It's very cynical and unbecoming.
Stuart! Don't worry, Colonel. I'll have to blow them. I don't intend to be a dead hero.
There is a way we might do it.
What did you say, Mr. Mullen?
There's a spacesuit and magnetic base stored in that locker over there. We might be able to reach the control room from the outside of the ship.
Outside the... How would we get it?
This compartment has a sea chute. It must.
How would we get a sea chute?
A sea chute, my boy, is a casualty ship. Doesn't get talked about much, but all the main compartments have one. Just little airlocks down here will slide a corpse. Burial in space.
Plastic Mullen, suppose you did get outside. Plastic Mullen, re-enter the ship. Plastic Mullen, Plastic Mullen, Plastic Mullen, Plastic Mullen.
Spaceship model. I studied all about it. At any rate, I learned
If I were younger, Plastic, I'd trounce you. You know very well with my infant leg.
Yeah, of
Plastic,
course.
I'd trounce
Not to mention my artificial
very
hair.
well with my infant leg.
Well, now, what unfortunate deformities do the rest of us have?
Ollie? You just keep talking, Mr. Big Mouth, and pretty soon we'll kick your teeth in.
Of course, that's your standard reply to everything, isn't it? The blank, you do it?
I cannot.
Not even to get back to Denise?
Please, I cannot.
Blank needs to go. I'll do it. After all, it is my idea.
And are you serious, Mullen?
Yes.
Well, how? I don't understand. Why? Why you?
Well, it seems no one else will do it.
But that's no reason, man.
I can't think of any others.
Look here. You really intend to go through with it, sir? Well, dash it, man. Let me shake your hand. You're an husband, by heaven. You do this thing and win or die. I'll bear witness for you.
It was quite a moment. Mullen the mouse had suddenly turned into a man. He just stood there awkwardly while the colonel puffed his hands. Polyakitis seemed stunned. LeBlanc was wide-eyed. And I? Well, I was in a peculiar position, one in which I rarely found myself. I had absolutely nothing to say.
That ought to bring them.
I hear one.
What is it, Earthman?
One member of our unit is dead. As you know. We request permission to jettison his body out of the casualty chute.
You may do so.
You'll have to open the chute lock from the control room.
I will do so. Is there anything else?
No. Nothing else, thank you.
Is there anything else?
No. Nothing else. All right, come on now, we'll have to work fast. Mullen, get into a spacesuit in the emergency locker. Paulie, help him out with those magnetic boots.
I'm working as fast as I can. They aren't.
All right, give me the helmet. Okay. Mullen, better scratch your nose if you have to. It's your last chance for a while.
What about radio contact?
You can talk to us. We'll listen in on the helmet set on one of the other suits. The chloros won't have their set on the interphone frequency.
Wait a moment.
What for?
Dash it, what's he going to use for a weapon? He isn't big enough to fight them barehanded.
How about one of those oxygen cylinders?
Good idea. Use it to crash them over the head.
Get one of the cylinders equipped with a reducing valve. Now look, Mullen, if your magnetic boots fail, and you start drifting away into space, open this valve. See that? You can use it like a miniature jet and try to blow yourself back from the ship. You understand?
I think so.
All right, here goes the helmet.
You'd better hurry. The light is on over the sea chute.
All right. That means they lock. Here. Can you hear me? LeBlanc, give me that other space helmet.
Yes. Here.
Switch on the radio. Can you hear me, Mullen?
I hear you.
Mullen? Plenty of air?
Air's okay.
Paulie, open the sea chute.
Open the sea chute.
Okay, now help him in. Are ready?
Ready?
Good luck.
Ready?
Close the chute.
Ready?
Close the chute.
Pull the ejector valve. Now. He's out.
Pull the ejector valve.
God help him.
The light is out.
God help Chloros have closed the chute lock.
I don't suppose he has much of a chance.
No.
You think he knew it?
I just don't know.
I tried to contact him.
Yes.
What is it?
It's Chloros coming.
Good Lord. He showed him Miss Mullen.
Get your brother's body on the cot. Put a blanket over it. Pretend it's Mullen asleep. Paulie, for heaven's sake.
My blood.
What you've got to do, man. It's our only chance. Listen, if Mullen could go out there and
Very
resist...
well. I will do it.
Earthman,
Yes.
you have jettisoned the Rockman.
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 Yes.
I'd like to rest alone.
I will respect your wishes. I see that one of your unit troops already.
Yes, Mr. Mullen was overcome with grief.
I leave you.
Holy, I thought sure you were going to rush him.
We've got a brave little guy out there. What do you think I am anyway? When you think I laughed at him, it makes me ashamed.
Yeah, I guess I've been saying some things that maybe weren't too funny. I owe all of you an apology.
You think it's safe to try the radio?
Yeah, we better.
It's safe.
Hello, Mullen. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Where are you?
I'm standing on the outside of the ship. I hear you.
All right, now take care. One misstep and you'll be marooned in space.
I can feel the rim. I just hope it doesn't let go when I get inside.
Be careful.
Be careful.
Going in.
Be
I'm
careful.
going in.
Be
I'm
careful.
going in.
Be
I'm
careful.
going in.
Keep in contact.
I'm in the tube now.
Lord. Can't let go of the blast.
Maybe the starboard tubes. Mullen.
Still here. They use the other tubes, fortunately. Now, if they don't try to correct them, wait. Yes, I'm at the end of the tube now. Where it opens into the control of the
Good, good. Now look, there's a small metal door there. Can you feel it?
Yes,
Metal door there.
I'm afraid it's locked from the other side. I'm afraid it's locked from the other side. I'm afraid it's locked from the other side. I'm afraid it's locked from the other side.
Take the spare oxygen tank. Bang on the They hear you. When one of them comes to investigate, try to hit him with a cylinder. Now aim for the stalk on top of his body. Try to blind it. Will you do that?
I'll try.
Well, now go on. Only one can count. The other will stay under control. Now start banging. Any luck?
Wait, I hear something. Something's opening the lock. The door now.
Mullen, what happened? Mullen, can you hear me? Mullen!
On the door and jump the Cloro.
The first guy would be a cinch to die.
I would be willing to take the chance.
You?
Why not? I could try.
I'm the strongest. I do it.
Now listen, you chaps. I'm an old man. I've got nothing to live for anyway. Suppose I throw myself at the ray gun. Wait a minute, what's the point?
20 minutes ago, there wasn't one of you who'd risk his little finger to get us out. Now you're falling all over each other.
Mr. Mullen teaches us a lesson.
Okay, Paulie, give me the wrench. I'll start banging on the door. They say that selflessness is contagious. Well, I guess maybe it is. I'd been a cynic all my life, a man who believed in nothing. Well, I'd come face to face with 4 human beings who proved that I'd been living a lie. I knew what I was going to do now. When the Cloro came to investigate our compartment, I had it all planned. If only my poor weak hands would hold out long enough. Ready? Here goes. Let you bring it.
Try again. Wait, listen.
It's ready.
It's opening the lock.
Poor old Mullen.
Steady.
No! Let him have it! Wait! Stop it! It's not the Cloro! Good Lord! It's Mullen!
Here, get the helmet off. Mullen, are you all right?
I seem to be quite all right.
Well, the Cloros.
Both dead.
What happened?
I banged on the steam tube hatch and the Cloro opened. Hit him with a cylinder. It blinded him, I guess, but it didn't kill him. It grabbed me and broke me. He struggled to broke my pants. That's why I couldn't talk. Finally, I managed to cut him down.
What about the other one?
Must have heard the scuffle and came into the cabin with a ray gun.
Must have heard a scuffle and came into the cabin with a ray gun. Must have heard a scuffle and came into the cabin with a ray gun. Must have heard a scuffle and came into the cabin with a ray gun.
It's like spraying insects with poison.
You're a brave man. I'd have been scared to death. Mullen, what is it? Mullen. An hour later, false hands and all, I was at the controls of the ship, headed for Earth. I was gotten rid of the chlorinating equipment and restored the oxygen naturally. Mullen was asleep in the cabin under a sedative, or so I thought until the cabin door opened. Mullen, for Pete's sake, get back to bed.
I'm quite all right now, really. Do you mind if I watch how you operate?
Oh, no, not at all. Sit down. Well, I guess I owe you an apology. I didn't think of it.
It's your privilege.
Isn't anything despise another. For years now, I've abandoned hope of finding a decent human. I owe you a lot of thanks.
Oh, ask me, Mr. Stewart. I didn't do it for any heroic reasons, I assure you. Far from it.
Why did you do it, Mullen? That puzzles me very much.
Well, Mr. Stewart, I'm a bookkeeper. 17 years ago, I left Earth to work on Arcturus. I never made much impression on anybody on Earth, although I wanted very much to have people like me. I asked for a leave of absence to go home after 17 years.
Well, I still don't understand. It wasn't patriotism, or love of a woman, or money, or anything. What was it?
Mr. Stewart, haven't you
ferocious arena of all prehistoric Earth, where hunting reptile heavyweights is no job for human lightweight. No job for Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, and the Sea Shoot, a story from the pages of Galaxy, written by Isaac Asimov and adapted to radio by George Knight. Featured in the cast were Lyle Supro, Stan Early,
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are on a planet of desolation and utter ruin. You are on awaiting the return of your comrades to carry you to safety. While the remains of life about you, crawling and evil, are slowly hemming you in and ruthlessly tracking you down to the abyss.
Listen now as Escape brings you Charles Smith's unusual story, North of Pomero.
One, two, three, four. You read me, Joe?
Loud and clear, Arthur.
You read me, Joe?
All ready, sir.
How is it? How do you feel, Mac? How do you feel? Scared, sir? Now take your time out there. Very sure. Take your time out there. Now take your time out there.
Yes, sir.
Mac. Yes. What's it like out there? Yes, sir. Nothing much to see. Nothing much to feel heavier or lighter than usual? Can you move about easily? Just like a phone. What about atmosphere? I'm turning off my oxygen unit. What about the intake valve? Careful. Turning off. Not too fast now. Careful. I've got my
From the little spaceship, we could see him calmly walking about on the surface of a planet approximately 20 million miles from our own. All 40 of us had drawn straws, back and forth. And if we returned home safely, he would be remembered as the first man to touch the soil. When he learned home safely, he would be remembered as the first man to touch the soil. When he learned home safely, he would be remembered as the first Stoner, he's good with the camera. Sam, have you got your gear?
I know what to do, what I want.
Yes, sir.
Map the area as best you can. You report on water sources, mineral deposits, vegetation. If you see any signs of life, try to get pictures. Otherwise, any signs of life, try to get signs of life, try to get Good luck, Jim.
Thank you, sir.
Joe, do you notice anything wrong with this place?
What do you mean?
Oh, look around. See any trees, bushes, grass, anything rope? See anything green?
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's probably desert country.
No.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's probably
You
desert.
feel the soil. No. It's rich enough. You feel the soil. Plenty of sun, probably plenty of rain. Look at its color. Plenty of gray.
Maybe it's like the moon. Maybe this is just another moon.
No, there's air here.
Maybe it's like maybe it's just another moon.
That's what they say.
Sometimes they're wrong. Now,
We've got about 5 hours of daylight left.
I don't like it. It's too quiet. Even the wind.
what are you trying to do, Mac? You think we're jumping up?
Even the wind.
What are you trying to do, Mac?
How long are they going to leave us?
48 hours.
That could be a long time.
48 hours.
That could be a long time.
48 hours.
Like a long time.
Flat rolling land, easy because there were no trees or bushes or weeds. There was nothing. Nothing but the gray sky and the gray, dead soil. Nothing. I was beginning to think that maybe it was only a moon soil. And then we made camp for the night.
Okay, come and get it.
And then we made camp.
Look in here. Can we do play that? That's what I
Oh, watch us here.
First thing I'm going to do when I get home,
No, what?
I'm going to the best restaurant in town. I want to take a steak.
Pretty sure you're gonna get it.
Why not you, Mac?
Pretty sure you're gonna get it. Where's the trophy, Jim?
Yeah, you married, Mac?
Uh-huh.
Any kids?
Yeah, one, a little girl. She's 5.
What makes you volunteer for this trip?
I don't know. Maybe I just had to. I don't know. You understand that? Maybe I just...
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know what I miss? Crickets. You know, at home you sit around a campfire, like at the lake, you hear the frogs, crickets. You know, at home you
Slap the mosquitoes.
Yeah, lake, you hear the frogs, crickets.
Slap the
It's
mosquitoes.
funny.
Oh, what's that?
Well, here we are, 20 million miles away from our home. 20 million miles. Here we are, yet up there in the sky. We can still see it.
Yeah, I wonder if anybody's looking at these distant planets, wondering if we made it.
Oh, sure they are. All the scientists, astronomers.
I know what you
You got a family, Sam?
Only my mother's.
You got a family, Sam?
Only my mother's. What is it?
You got a family, Sam?
Something's out there. Moving.
It was life. There was life here. And we could see it now. The dim light given off by our heating units. It was an ugly, lonely hairless body. From its odor, a scavenger. Like everything else here, it was the color of gray.
All right, cut it out. Sam!
Well, that's real smart.
All right, cut it out.
Supposed to be a photographer.
Oh, lay off it, Joe. It was only a rat, a big rat. Oh, lay off it. Oh, lay off it.
The day broke between right. And we kept walking north during the job we set out to do. There were no other signs of life, and we'd almost convinced ourselves that the rat had been a stowaway from our ship. For the first time, things felt right. For the time, things felt right.
Pictures, magazines. You shot everything there is. You shoot here. It's all gonna look the same. That's it.
Yeah, I know.
You shot everything. When we turn it back.
Tomorrow morning? Yeah, tomorrow morning. Now let's take a look around.
Nothing to see.
Now
Why don't we start back now? Nothing to see. Joe? Why don't we start
Joe.
back?
Mac!
Joe?
Come up here.
Joe?
On the double. Mac? Take a look through his binoculars. Up to the east. Swing around slowly. No, easy. There. Pretty much. No, easy. Oh, it's looks like clumps of stone or cement. Take a look. Get in the glass. Looks like clumps of stone, cement. Take a look.
Hey, could that be what's left of the city?
Take a look.
Hey, could that be what's left of the city?
Sam, you fool, come back here!
What's left of the city?
Sam, you fool, come back here!
Found the subject for his camera, and he was racing toward it. At the edge of the sprawling stone ruins, we caught up. And he made us turn with our backs to the city, and pointed his camera at us.
Welcome to the city. Hold it, both of you, right there.
I should have shaved.
Mac, hold it. Pick up a piece of that stone.
Like this?
Mac, okay. Oh, what are you waiting for?
Hold it. Mac, put that stone. Just put it down. Bagger concentrating.
Kidding, what could be radioactive?
Mac, lower it near the ground. Mac,
What do you know?
Radioactive.
What do you know?
What is it, uranium? Pitchfork? What?
no.
What is it?
No, this isn't a natural composition.
Then what?
Look around you. Like a good one. What's it look like? Like a good one. Till we stood near the jagged base of what once must have been a magnificent building.
Mac, over there.
Magnificent building.
Mac,
With each step we'd taken, the radiation had increased. And when it reached the danger point, it turned. Started back. We didn't say anything. Started need to. We had seen, we knew this world, this civilization had committed suicide.
It's getting late. We better make
Sky's clouding up in the south. Skies about to storm brew.
Your film safe, Sam? You think the radiation back there damaged?
Nah, it's packed with heavy lead for
Yeah.
It's funny.
No, it's that.
South. It's not the sky that's clouded. It looks like dust. Dust storm.
Couldn't be. There's no wind.
Take a look.
There's no wind.
Well, something's out there taking up the dust.
There's no wind.
How far away you think?
It's hard to tell. 10, maybe 15.
Joe, look!
What?
See what? Over your left. What is it? You're crazy. There's nothing out there. Over your left. But I did see them. Over your left. But I did see them.
Ourselves. Even what was left of their clothing was similar to ours. They were running desperately. Then I looked beyond them and saw the cause of their fear. Stalking them, slowly closing the distance between them, were 6 of those great, evil rats. Watching the hunters and the hunted. And the longer we watched, the more it became certain that the rats could end the hunt whenever they wanted to. I could see their features now. The woman was much younger than the man. Their faces were distorted by panic and fear. And we watched and waited. And then the old man fell, and Sam and Mac were running, screaming, driving off the rat. Are you all right? Are you all right? You speak our language.
Yes. But we were sure there wasn't anyone else in this sector. We thought they'd all gone.
Gone where?
South. They left us behind. They said he was too old, not worth the trouble.
How many of you lived here?
11 of us.
11.
Father and I started out yesterday morning. We thought we could meet them later. And the rats. Where are you from?
Outside.
There is something left outside.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I was sure. I'd hoped. I knew it couldn't end here.
Come on, we better get you back to camp. Gave him a sedative. She'll be all right, but I'm worried about the other.
Joe?